Good morning. You're all welcome to this high-level meeting. This meeting is held, ladies and gentlemen, in an international context that is faced with challenges, financial and economic challenges. The consolidation of cooperation and coordination among the economic and financial policies at the international level, and enhancing the international and regional cooperation in order to achieve sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is a forum to share views and ideas on general policies and the role of international financial institutions in fostering and boosting the investment and economic development in the framework of partnership and complementarity.
High-level conference, North Africa, connecting continents, creating opportunities. This event will explore the challenges and opportunities for deeper regional integration and highlight policy priorities to advance economic cooperation, positioned between Europe's industrial demand and Africa's demographic dynamism. North Africa holds a unique opportunity to serve as a strategic connector in a rapidly evolving global landscape. Geopolitical shifts and ongoing diversification efforts create momentum to strengthen trade ties, optimize resources, and climb global value chain. Closer economic ties between North Africa, Europe, and Sub-Saharan Africa can build greater resilience and shared growth across these three regions. نتشرف الآن بدعوة محافظ بنك الجزائر السيد معتصم بودياف ليلقي الكلمة الافتتاحية فليتفضل مشكورا.
And I invite the governor to deliver his statement. In the name of Allah, peace be upon the Prophet.
Mr. the Prime Minister, Madam the Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, distinguished ministers and governors, leaders of international financial institutions, ladies and gentlemen, honorable guests. It is a great honor to welcome you today to this high-level conference on North Africa, connecting continents, creating opportunities. I would like to thank the International Monetary Fund for its close partnership and all our distinguished participants for their presence and engagement. We are meeting at a pivotal moment for the global economy. Supply chains are being reconfigured. Energy systems are undergoing profound transformations, and regions that can offer stability, connectivity, and strategic depth are gaining renewed importance. In this evolving landscape, North Africa is not on the margin of change. It stands at the crossroad of opportunity. North Africa occupies a unique and strategic position between Europe and Sub-Saharan Africa. This position is becoming even more critical as the world seeks shorter, more resilient, and more reliable value chains. Today, over 60% of North Africa's exports are directed towards Europe, while trade with Sub-Saharan Africa remains limited. Yet this imbalance does not reflect a lack of potential. It reflects an opportunity still to be fully unlocked. The vision guiding this conference is clear: to transform North Africa into a bridge between continents, capable of channeling European capital and technology towards fast-growing African markets, while facilitating better access for African resources, goods, and talent to global markets. This triangular cooperation can become a powerful engine for shared growth. Our discussions today are anchored in three mutually reinforcing dimensions that together outline a clear path toward regional transformation. Deeper economic integration between North Africa, Europe, and Sub-Saharan Africa must be beyond trade agreements to include modern logistics, skilled human capital, and business environment capable of attracting investment. At the same time, energy represents a decisive strategic asset. Building on its long-standing role as a hydrocarbon supplier, North Africa is uniquely positioned to become a hub for renewable energy, cross-border electricity interconnections, and green hydrogen, supporting Europe's energy transition while expanding electricity access in Sub-Saharan Africa and advancing up the value chain. Achieving this vision ultimately depends on the active engagement of the international financial institutions, whose coordinated financing and policy guidance are essential to supporting reforms, aligning incentives, and mobilizing the private investment required to translate ambition into lasting impact. IMF analysis clearly shows that is at stake a combination of increasing European nearshoring and structural reforms could raise North Africa's GDP by around 2% in the medium term and boost exports by about 5%. These gains could be nearly doubled with stronger reforms in logistics and human capital. More importantly, the benefits could extend beyond the regions. Europe could gain more resilient value chains, and Sub-Saharan Africa benefits from deeper integration into regional production networks. Allow me to highlight the example of Algeria, my country, which illustrates this potential. As a major energy supplier to Europe with extensive infrastructure and vast solar resources, Algeria has the capacity to move beyond its traditional role by developing downstream activities and integrating into new renewable and electricity value chains. Positioned at the heart of North Africa, Algeria can act as a catalyst for regional integration, not only in energy, but across trade, investment, and connectivity. The Algerian institutions remains fully mobilized to turn these objectives and vision into concrete results under the guidance of Mr. the President of the Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference is not an end in itself. It is a platform for dialogue, for concrete proposals, and for collective action. The challenges we face are complex, but the opportunities are still greater. By strengthening cooperation, investing in people and infrastructure, and aligning our strategies, we can turn global fragmentation into a driver of a regional resilience and shared prosperity. I look forward to rich and forward-looking discussions, and I wish our conference will be a success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the Governor of the Bank of Algeria, Mouatassem Boudiaf. We are honored now. It's
Georgieva Kristalina, the Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund.
Assalamu alaikum. I would like to start by expressing my deepest gratitude to our gracious hosts, Mr. Prime Minister, Governor, Ministers, for bringing us to the beautiful city of Algiers for a very important meeting. And I would suggest we give a big round of applause to the host. We have had many people working for this conference, and rightly so. It is a topic of great significance. We meet at a moment of profound global transformation. Geopolitical tensions are rising. Trade and financial flows are being rewired. Supply chains reconfigured, and energy systems reimagined. All this when technological advancements, and in particular, the role of AI, with remarkable speed, change the way we work, we live, we interact with each other. So, no surprise, in this environment of profound change, uncertainty is high, and it is likely to be our new normal. When we navigate this world of higher uncertainty and more fragmentation, we need more than ever before cooperation, connecting with each other. And this is what I would like to speak about today. We are in North Africa. North Africa presents a tremendous opportunity by its God-given geographic location. It is a natural bridge between Europe and the rest of the continent. It is where trade and integration have enormous potential. Of course, the region has already developed a history of economic links and trade routes. Investment flows are not new. What is new is that the role of this integration becomes even more important. And I want to recognize in particular the signing of Africa's Continental Free Trade Area Agreement as one of the drivers of integration on the continent and positioning the continent for a bigger role, not only for its own people, but across with Europe. So what is my message to you? My message is supercharge this integration. Today, Europe is looking to expand its trade partnerships. Sub-Saharan Africa is looking for avenues to tap the potential of its vast resources and its people. And North Africa offers plenty of opportunities for investment and partnership. Think of the manufacturing hubs that source raw materials or intermediary goods from Sub-Saharan Africa, or joint infrastructure projects such as cross-regional railways. We talked about that yesterday with the Minister of Finance, or digital connectivity platforms, and I'm delighted the Commissioner for Digitalization is right here with us. These could unlock economies of scale and improve logistical efficiency across the continent. Without doubt, that energy is a very powerful example. With abundant energy resources, from oil and gas to solar and wind, North Africa can power industries at home and abroad, supporting Europe's energy transition, alleviating Africa's electricity gaps. Let's remember, in Sub-Saharan Africa, still today, 600 million people lack access to electricity, which most of the rest of the world takes for granted. We can see accelerated technology transfer across regions. And Algeria, in fact, is showing the way with its dual energy advantage, advancing hybrid solar gas projects in the Sahara, expanding power interconnections with Europe, and investing in green hydrogen for export. So how should policymakers supercharge this integration? First, reduce barriers to trade. Average North African import tariffs are standing at 7%. They are higher than those in many other regions in ASEAN, in the Gulf Cooperation Council, in sub-Saharan African economies. While Europe accounts for most of North Africa trade, trade between North and sub-Saharan Africa today is negligible, representing only 4% of exports and just 1% of imports. We sure can do more. Second, implement reforms that strengthen the trade and business environment. Efficient trade logistics, a predictable business and regulatory environment, strong governance, these are all essential for investment and exports. For example, modernizing ports and customs systems and investing in cross-border corridors like the Trans-Maghreb and Cairo-Dakar highways can dramatically improve connectivity and competitiveness. For new engines of growth to flourish, the region must become a hub where goods, services, and capital flow more freely and businesses thrive. And finally, focus on your most wonderful resource, people. North Africa already possesses strong human capital. In fact, it is exporting talent, and I saw the Italian minister. Europe benefits from it. We see potential to build more relevant skills for the economy of the future, and we see potential for offering more opportunities for deploying this human capital. And when we think about the potential benefits of these reforms, they're significant. We are publishing a new paper, research we did specifically for this conference, and it tells us that increased North Africa's economic linkages with Europe and sub-Saharan Africa could boost the level of North Africa's exports by 16% and GDP by 7%. This is an equivalent of $67 billion that could, of course, lift up the well-being of people. There would be also meaningful benefits for both sub-Saharan Africa and Europe to greater supply chain participation and investment and greater resilience and growth in neighboring regions. Let me conclude with a wonderful Arab saying, "One hand doesn't clap." It is a fitting metaphor for our task, because in times of sweeping transformations, cooperation is not optional, it is essential. Let's clap with two hands. Thank you very much for having us here, from Algiers to Alexandria, from Lagos to Lisbon. We cooperate, we go together. Shukran.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kristalina Georgieva, for your energy, for your leadership. You remind some important points about the importance of integration and the opportunities of North Africa. Thank you. نتشرف الآن بدعوة السيد.
I invite now the Prime Minister Sifi Ghrieb for his speech. Please give him a round of applause.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. السيدة المديرة العامة لصندوق النقد الدولي، السيدات والسادة الوزراء، السيد محافظ بنك الجزائر، السادة المحافظون.
Ladies and gentlemen, governors, representative of financial institutions, ladies and gentlemen, and dear guests, it is my great pleasure to participate to the opening of this conference and welcome our dear guests who participate in the works of this conference, and that I hail and transfer the greetings of the President of the Republic and wish them a successful conference that has been held through the joint efforts of the IMF and the Bank of Algeria. And allow me also to hail the partnership between these two institutions that work together to reinforce the financial stability and the sustainable growth and economic cooperation between countries. Ladies and gentlemen, the delegations that have traveled here from different countries to participate to the works of this conference is a proof of the importance that you have shown to the theme of today's conference in the north of Africa, in order to create more opportunities, and that has led to the addressing the issues of today's era, and also see all the opportunities that exist in our region. This title is a motto for this conference and opportunity, and it represents the strategic vision that recognizes North Africa and its a pivotal and strategic role, being a bridge between the African continent and the European continent, as well as the Mediterranean Sea and many other shared points. North Africa has represented throughout history a platform and space for the transfer of goods and the movement of people and the dialogue between different cultures. And we are asked today more than ever to reinforce this identity, so that it is at the heart of all the issues at stake in order to face the different challenges. And it is within an international framework that is witnessing great change through geopolitical changes and the change of the chain of value and the digitization, aside from many other things that we have witnessed in terms of changes, and that has set new rules for the economic balance throughout the world. In order to face those changes and transformations, it is important and the different countries to guarantee the smoothness of the exchange and avoid any dangers, taking into consideration the geographical factor in this framework, because the North Africa has it plays a competitive role as part of its location between the different continents. Linking continents together does not stop at roads, railways, and boats, which are very important, but it's more importantly a link between the different financial institutions and economic organizations, and encourage technology transfer. It has also to do with building bridges that go beyond the markets in order to include the aspirations and ideas. And regarding the creation of opportunities, it does not stop at the economic growth only, but it goes beyond in order to make sure that this growth is sustainable, complete, and partial. and that will impartial, and it helps also make sure to promote SMEs and also make sure that you follow the digitization through the innovative instruments that will allow to fight and confront climate change as well and the different challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, this aspiration with its continental and regional framework is part of our national strategy that tends to participate to the economic growth and have a more open economy that would be studied and controlled. We are working on reinforcing the regional complementarity and also create employment aside from making sure that our economy is more sustainable throughout based on the national and international standards. And those efforts have led to big changes that stemmed from a strong will to reinforce our economy while confronting the external changes and transformations, which is why Algeria has deployed great efforts and capabilities for infrastructure in order to make sure that there is a better regional integration and improved roads and pathways that are part of our continental and regional integration vision, such as the Trans-Saharan Road and the railways that go in the western part of the country that has been launched this week for the Mainen railway, and another second one that should be finished before the current year, and also the south-south railway that will link north-south railway that will be linking 6,000 kilometers and 9,000 kilometers respectively. And in parallel, we have been developing airports, ports, and roads at the border in order to reinforce the goods exchange and economic exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to reinforcing the material infrastructure, making those decisions also include the economic integration and also human resources. Youth for Algeria is not just an demographic indicator, but it's also a real engine for growth that has to be included in a more modern framework, an innovative framework that will allow youth to better use their capabilities at the regional level. And in order to make sure that we best use the resources on the continent, we organize every year a conference for SMEs that creates a space of innovation, and it's also an opportunity to learn from other mechanisms that can be used. And in parallel with it, or in addition to it, we are working on developing the ITC and communication infrastructures that is going and growing very rapidly while reinforcing the different platforms. And this technical platform would allow to transform all the advantages into a real engine using AI while providing a sustainable energy. And Algeria is today capable of having all the right mechanisms and infrastructures to process data and also set in place data that can be fed to the AI and the knowledge economy. Algeria is also working at the same time on promoting and developing human resources that play a pivotal role in this policy, as well as the investment in teaching at the different levels of knowledge and teaching. And this is what allowed to play a very important role in the development of the region. Ladies and gentlemen, North Africa has great resources, and it has a very, very important youth energy that will allow it to be more open to digitization, to the different energies, as well as the huge capabilities in terms of renewable energy, logistics, services, and the transformation of those capabilities into opportunities requires more efforts, especially through the reinforcement of coordination between the countries of the region, and also have a constantly open dialogue with the private and public sectors, and the cooperation at the different levels, nationally and internationally. This gathering today comes at a very important moment in order to provide an honest dialogue platform and strategic discussions and scientific exchange. And it's also an opportunity to exchange experiences and find the best pathways for a common reflection on how to go towards more transformation and build a platform that has more integration and communication and capabilities in order to confront the different challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, I am convinced that the works of this conference will be very rich and very enriching at the same time, and it will contribute to make better choices for the future and enrich also the national policies and reinforce the partnerships between our countries and our institutions for a more sustainable growth. And I hope that this conference will be a new milestone in the reinforcement of the cooperation between North Africa, Southern Sahara, Europe, and beyond. A cooperation based on mutual trust and solidarity and the creation of wealth in our countries. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you all the best during this conference. May peace be upon you.
شكرا لكم سيد.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister Sifi Ghrieb. You have mentioned the great competitive resources that Algeria has, and as well as the efforts that have been deployed by Algeria in order to develop the roads, railways, and in order to give a better access to the country, as well as the development of many other sectors.
But before that, we allow the Prime Minister, Mrs. Sifi Ghrieb, and Kristalina Georgieva, the Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, to leave the room. Thank you very much for your presence and for your energy and for your commitment. We kindly ask you to remain seated, please. And we will start in a few moments the first panel. شكرا سيد الوزير الأول.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister.
The Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund. The first panel, ladies and gentlemen, discuss